The question that we're asking you today is, have you ever been discriminated based on your skin tone? Well, the question of the day is right there on your screen. Have you ever been discriminated because of your skin tone? Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubeme_Winnie. Remember to use the hashtag #NewNormal, and we'll be sampling your feedback during the show. But of course, to help us understand more about this, and that is the impact of colorism, well, I am joined right here in Studio A by Jackie Kea, who is a life coach. It's so good to finally meet you. I've watched you several times, so it's good to meet you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for coming. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Doing well? Very well, thank you. All right, and of course, on Zoom, we are joined by Dr. Winnie Njenga, who is a clinical dermatologist. Dr. Winnie, it's so good to see you this morning. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm very well, thank you.
All right, good to hear that. And of course, we're also joined by Swabrina Yusuf Said, who is a business woman. Thank you very much, Swabrina, for joining us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, and Swabrina is joining us all the way from Mombasa. So I hope, what's for Mombasa, you know, the heat and all those things, but you're well. All right, now, like we said earlier on, impact of colorism in, amongst people, right? And like I said, a number of people back in 2019, for example, during her interview with the BBC Newsnight, Lupita Nyong'o actually shared her experience with colorism in the country. And she also talked about the fact that colorism is the daughter of racism. Right. And also, we've had journalist Yvonne Okwara, who has spoken candidly about colorism in the country, and more so at the workplace, revealing that she was once dismissed as too dark for television. And that did not stop there, all right? Last year, online comedian, that is Elsa Majimbo, on Naomi Campbell's podcast, also spoke of her experience with colorism in the country, all right? And she said, here, it's a place where there is a lot of colorism. Lighter-skinned people are given more opportunities and are made to feel like they can succeed more. So the question is, why is this happening? And first, let's just take a look at what Yvonne Okwara's tweet actually, she talked a lot about colorism, in the country, and there we go. And she said, we're all talking about Black Lives Matter, but we do not. We also need to reflect on our own culture. In this part of the world, colorism, darker-skinned girls and women are treated differently, and we have to work twice as hard, be twice as smart to get ahead. Because what else do we have going on for us, right? Because inadvertently or otherwise, this is standard. This is the standard that has been set. Light skin equals beauty, equals opportunity, equals work, equals wealth, equals good marriage, equals beautiful children. It is these attitudes that have fueled the skin lightening culture. Of course, she goes on and on to also talk about her experience as far as colorism is concerned. So the big question is then again, why? Why do we discriminate, against each other based on our skin tone? And really, why does skin tone really matter? All right, and I'll start with you, Jackie, just to help us understand when we talk about colorism. But really, what exactly does that mean?
Colorism is discrimination based on your skin tone or skin color. Yeah. At times, it is just because your tone is different. Your tone is lighter or your tone is darker. And you find that we are all Africans.
Absolutely. You see, that is the thing that baffles me.
It's not even racism, because when we discriminate according to race, that's a different story. Sure. It's just within the same race, but the tones of the skin are totally different. And it's through socialization, our day-to-day life, how we've been brought up, or what happened, colonialism, there's a lot that has contributed to the fact that we deem or perceive people who are lighter skinned as beautiful, good looking, and people who are light skinned or darker toned as ugly or not as beautiful. Yes.
And it's just sad because, like you said, it's not even racism.
No.
Lupita talked about an aspect of colorism is the daughter of racism, because it's almost the same but yet again different, right? And we don't understand why. And I'm pretty sure by the end of this discussion we'll actually get to understand why is it that then people discriminate, yet we are of the same race. It's just that our tones are very different. And what can we do, and the impact that this can have, especially on a person who's been discriminated against. And we're talking about colorism, we're not only focusing on, like, let's say, dark-skinned people who have been discriminated. We've also seen some men who are of lighter skin actually being discriminated and being deemed as weak. All right. So if you're out there watching us right now and you want to chime in the conversation, feel free to tweet us or even call us live. And of course, we look forward to hear what you have to say as far as this topic, because it's a very, very important topic for us to focus on. But let's get to understand more about our skin. What gives us the different tones, the different shades of our skin? And of course, Dr. Winnie Njenga is joining us via Zoom. Dr. Winnie, help us understand. What is the skin composed of? What makes up the skin? What gives us the different colors and shades, that we have?
Thank you so much, Rini. That's actually a very interesting observation, because if you look at African skin, we have like the highest variation in terms of skin tone. And not even looking at two people, if you look at the same individual, if you look at yourself, if you look at the skin tone of your face, you look at the skin tone of your neck, look at the skin tone of your armpits, your knees, you'll find it varies, and that's absolutely normal. That's the way your skin is supposed to be. So when it comes to the color, there are several factors. The main one being your genetics. So the way your genetics are set up is something which you inherit through generations. So your skin color does not have to be exactly the same as your mom or exactly the same as your dad. It could be your grandfather's skin tone, it could be your great-grandparents' skin tone. So there's that genetic aspect. And basically all that happens in people who have different kinds of skin tones is that you have different levels of activities in the melanocyte. The melanocyte is a cell that's responsible for producing melanin in the skin. So depending on the ratios, there are different types of chemicals that form the melanin. Depending on the ratios that are there in your melanocytes, that's what determines. That's why it's very interesting. In African skin, you can have like upwards of 20 different tones of skin color, because it all depends on those little things. And not only that, it also depends on your environment, because you'll find that if you spend 24 hours outside in the sun and come back in the house, your skin tone won't be what it was yesterday, because also the UV rays have an impact. So actually, your skin color has multiple factors that you need to consider. It's not that simple.
Yeah, I like that. I like what you said earlier on, that even when you look at yourself, the color on your face, on your neck, or other parts of the body are not the same. So really, when we discriminate, I think we should also look inwards and see the different variations when it comes to the color. So then, someone might say, but fine, melanocytes, melanin popping, we've had that song over and over again, but still there's some people who are just like, fine, we are from the same race, but then we have different shades and all those things. So then when it comes to then the melanin, are there some, let's say, things that trigger so that you get maybe someone who has like the darkest of shades and someone that has like the lightest of shades, aside from, let's say, the environment? Are there things that happen internally that probably trigger? Because there's some people who would be like, I mean, it depends. There's sometimes where I am a bit lighter and then sometimes where I'm a bit darker. So what usually happens internally?
Okay, so outside of the environmental and genetic factors, the other biggest factor is your own hormones. So sometimes you'll find people saying, oh, when I'm stressed, you look dark. Or when you meet someone who perhaps has been undergoing a lot of physical stress, maybe they're unwell, maybe they've been in hospital for a long time. For some reason, they tend to look darker than their usual self. And when your body is under stress, it produces what we call stress hormones. And such hormones will sometimes affect the color of your skin. So yes, outside of those factors, you can still have other internal hormonal factors which affect the color of your skin.
Right. And of course, I'm pretty sure you've had a lot of, gorogos here and there. And this is where I want to bring in Swabrina, who is a businesswoman. And Swabrina actually does or deals with products that tend to brighten up or lighten up the skin. So Swabrina, very, very briefly, so I might ask, when did you, let's say, decide to start up this business and why?
Thank you so much. So I started this business like a year and a half ago. And it's because I was in a financial crisis. I would say that to begin with. I didn't take it seriously because I just needed the money. I needed to keep myself busy so that I can get money at first. But later on, I grew in love with it. because it came to a point whereby I was like, no, I don't need to deal with this like it's a joke. I really need to learn about this. I really need to learn about how to brighten people's skins without damaging their skins. I really need to learn how to protect people's skins because I get all sorts of clients. There are some who want to brighten their skins. There's some who just want to glow. I have all types of clients, I would say that.
All right. And I mean, there's so many other businesses out there that probably you could start. Why the skin lightening or brightening business per se, aside from the fact that, like you said, you were in a financial crisis and you needed the money?
You see, where I come from in Mombasa, we call it mkorogo, as you know. So in mkorogo, like, it is used so much. First of all, I would say most women, they don't have self-confidence. Most women where I come from don't have self-confidence. So they think when they use this, they get to feel appreciated, they get to look good. So I went with what was on demand. Yeah.
Business was booming at that time, eh? And you,
yes,
you saw an opportunity. You saw an opportunity for
yes.
the same. So shortly after, you started using this product. All right, tell us why.
They say if you're selling classic stuff, you must look good so that people can buy stuff from you.
Okay.
You cannot just be selling classic clothes, then you're wearing ragged. Like, the customers won't believe you. So when I started selling this, I got compliments from other clients. They were like, why are you selling this kind of stuff and you don't look good? So I was like, okay, I don't look good. I'm going to use it myself. So if I use it, I meet a client, maybe Nikienda Soko or something. They're like, okay, so this is not filters. You really look good in person. And I'm like, yes, I don't put filters. I use this and this for my skin.
All right. Now, there's something that I'm curious about, and that is the fact that you're mentioning look good. All right. You wanted to look good. You wanted the clients to actually see you and the results that you have to give them confidence to buy your product. So what do you mean by look good before and after?
Pardon?
What do you mean look good? Like you did not look good initially, and then you started using the products, and now you looked good, that your clients started appreciating the fact that you look good?
I will tell you one thing about what the doctor has said. And I always tell my clients, when you have stress and you use these types of cream, they don't work. Now I understand why. I didn't, but at least I've gotten information as to why. I always tell them, when you have stress, and you use this kind of products, my dear, you will, yani uta blake.
Okay.
It won't work at all.
Yes.
You will be worse than you are. So when I mean I look good, I used to have a lot of stress. Like I have 4 kids, dealing with kids, helping my husband out. I had this kind of fading color. I was under the sun a lot. I was too dark. I didn't even have self-confidence. So when I started using this, my skin started to brighten up a bit. I started glowing, even without applying makeup. I don't apply makeup. I just do my eyebrows. I put on lashes and lipstick, and I'm good to go. And when someone says to you, they're like, okay, you don't have any foundation on your face. And I'm like, yes, I don't. I just use a certain cream. I do scrubbings on my face. Whenever I come in from going out from work, I have like a skin routine.
All
yeah.
right.
So I decided I want to look good, and this is how I.
All right. Okay. Now, Jackie, looking good, booming business. It means there's a problem. There's a problem somewhere, right?
I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah.
Rewarded behavior is repeated.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So the society's standard of beauty is the light skin.
All right.
And when you become light skinned or light toned, you are deemed you are looking good. So it is rewarded, it is complimented. So that means it will be repeated. And that is why I may not have data, but I think this business booms.
Yeah.
Because people find themselves wanting to conform to the standards of beauty that the society has set.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who said this? Like initially, yes, fine, the society, but who said that light is beautiful? Who said that a fairer skin is beautiful as compared to this other? So then where does that leave, you know, people who are dark skinned, who have like beautiful ebony skin? Where does that leave them?
I may not know where this started,
Yeah.
but we know it exists.
Yeah.
And even racism, it's the white that was superior than the black.
True.
And if that was the case, amongst ourselves blacks, of course, again, we will go back and say the later toned black is better than the darker toned
Yes.
dark person.
Yeah.
So I may not know exactly where it started, but we live in a society that has been in this what? Has valued white
yes.
and
Yeah.
light skin
Yeah.
for so long.
For a
It
long
didn't
time.
start
It goes
today.
way
It
back
goes
when.
way back.
Yes.
The caste systems in some Asian tribes, the castes are also based on skin tone.
Yeah.
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 So it has been so ingrained in us that most of us perceive light skin or lighter tone as beauty.
Yeah.
So because the society perceives that,
Yeah.
we find ourselves wanting to be that thing
Yeah.
that the society perceives as beautiful.
beautiful.
So be beautiful.
Yeah.
And we say, okay, when I achieved it, I looked
Beautiful.
good.
I looked
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right. I'll come back to Sabrina in just a moment. But let's talk to Dr. Winnie in terms of then what usually happens once you introduce, let's say, these mkorogos, others would actually opt for injectables. What usually happens to the skin that it gives it that lighter or fairer shade? Is it that we're killing the melanin? What usually happens?
So that's an interesting question. That will usually depend on what you're using to lighten the skin. There are multiple chemicals in the market which people use to lighten the skin. I need to mention that most of these chemicals are actually used the wrong way because they're not, some of them are prescription strength. When we talk of prescription strength, it means that it's a product that's ideally supposed to be prescribed by a doctor. It's not something that you should be able to access over the counter or in a beauty store for that matter. So what usually happens is there's some treatments that you use to treat pigmentation disorders. When we talk of pigmentation disorders, we mean a disease that has led to having extremely dark areas on your skin, which should not be there.
Okay.
So then what happens is when people discover that these particular products can be used on normal skin and make it look lighter, that's how they, allow me to use the word abuse, came up. So what usually happens, some products work on reducing the strength and ability of your skin to produce the melanin, yeah, from the melanocytes, which I told you are the cells which are usually responsible for producing the melanin that gives your skin color. Some of them work through other ways, and it's actually a side effect of the treatment. The treatment does something else, but as a side effect, your skin ends up looking lighter. So depending on what you're using or what kind of chemicals you're using, that's what determines which particular mechanism your skin uses to lose the skin color.
All right. So then when it comes to this mkorogos, I mean, I was watching a video yesterday, and one would mix, there were peels, and then there were creams, and then there were, I don't know what it's called, like it was like yellowish in color, and then they would mix all these things together and then apply to the skin. So what exactly, are in, or what are some of these components in this, let's say, mkorogos or bleaches that, again, would in turn change a person's skin tone?
So the interesting thing is, those are things that are not actually supposed to be done outside of a pharmacy with controlled settings. Usually products, just like medicine, require a certain environment for them to be okay. So if you're having someone mix products in normal room temperature, using just normal containers, maybe spoons, sticks, things like that, first of all, sterility goes out the window. Risk of infection goes high. We do not know if those products are actually working properly because they're not kept in the optimum condition. Therefore, what usually happens is that when people tell them, they end up using a lot more because they don't want to have a less strong product because perhaps the way they handle the products is not proper.
Yeah.
The other thing that bothers me a lot is the fact that people do end up mixing lots of products, which ideally should not be mixed. For instance, if you go see a doctor, they will give you one drug and tell you, if this doesn't work, then come back and we'll have a look and we'll think again, we'll try and see what else to give you. And we'll move like that stepwise to different things. But what you find happens is when someone is preparing something, they'll try and put the best of everything or whatever they imagine to be the best of everything. And they'll mix this and mix that. And from a healthcare point of view, it's really not the best thing for you. So I would definitely say it is not a good idea to use something that is not prepared as per even the KEBS standards. Because ideally, a properly manufactured product should have a KEBS stamp, but more so, you should have something should be prepared in a pharmacy environment where all the regulations are followed, just to avoid the risk of contamination or even harm to the patient who's using.
Yeah, and we've also, I mean, had a lot of people say some of these products contain hydroquinone, niacinamide, camphor. What are these things? And how, let's say, dangerous, so how effective are they when it comes to lightening or brightening the skin? Or like, you know, Sabrina said, glow, achieve that glow.
It's interesting that you use the word glow because I think that's the biggest request I get from patients. Everyone wants their skin to glow.
To glow, yeah.
But defining this glow is very individual. Because to one person, glow means I want light skin, but they don't want to say, make my skin lighter.
Yeah.
And to someone else, a glow is, you know, just being healthy, having a healthy diet, you know, having exercise, a good nutrition, and the next person feels that's a glow. So it's a very amorphous term. You can't quite put your hand on what a glow is. But what I would say is when you're using these products, remember, first and foremost, just like you would never use any medicine continuously for life with no follow-up from a doctor, there's nothing that's absolutely safe. So if you're going to use something like that, just know the longer you use it, the higher the risk in terms of the side effects that can develop thereafter.
All right.
And I would definitely recommend that if someone maybe has a particular issue, you could actually go talk to a dermatologist, tell them these are the issues I have with my skin, I have breakouts, or I feel my skin is not glowing, and they can be able to recommend mostly one thing. A dermatologist will usually give you one active ingredient which they think is best suited to sort out your issue. Because remember, when you don't know what exactly it is you're treating, that's why you're using 5, 6, 7, 8 different components in one mukorogo, hoping that one of them will target whatever it is you're trying to sort out.
Trying to achieve. Okay, we'll talk about the risks and the impact that is either short-term or long-term in just a moment. But for now, let's speak to Sabrina. Sabrina, when these women come to you, you know, what do they say? Like, what do they want? And another question might be, what exactly do you use to make sure that you achieve the desired look?
Okay, some of my clients, I was listening to the doctor very well, like, I even thought of myself because most of my clients come to me and say, I want to glow. And the meaning of glow, they have different types of meaning, okay? There's one that will tell you, I want to glow. I want to brighten my skin up. And I have dark skin clients who tell you, I just want to glow. I don't want to touch anything on my skin. Like, I don't want to be bright or anything, but I just want to have that kind of sweet look whereby you're dark skin. But when you come out, people look amazed by your skin. So it means your skin is glowing without even brightening it up. Then there is that clients who just want to bright. I have like that clients who want to be bright, like this color. And she expects you to just do it in a month. And I'm like, no, we don't do that. just like the way the doctor is saying, I also tell my clients, once you're dark-skinned, you were born dark-skinned. You want to brighten your skin, it will take time because this is the journey you're expecting to take. And you cannot just do it in 1 week. There are people who sell products that will tell you, like, you will brighten your skin with 1 week. Like, you were born with a dark skin. How can you brighten your skin with 1 week? That is killing your skin cells. If we want to kill them, let's kill them slowly. That is terrible.
Okay. Okay, Sabrina, and what Jackie to react to this, but also Dr. Winnie Njenga. But for you, were you dark-skinned before you started using your products that you became a little bit fairer? And of course, the other question that I want you to also answer is, what exactly do you use?
I was not dark-skinned because I am a half caste of an Arab and a Ugandan.
All right.
So
okay.
I am not that bright like this, but I was not dark-skinned. That's why I told you I used it to brighten up my color, to bring a beautiful color in me.
Okay.
But I'm not dark-skinned.
Okay. All right.
And mostly I use the chemicals she's talking about. There's some very, what can I say? There's some chemicals, ziko kali sana, but there is a secret ingredient I am using, which is a natural cream made from home the Arabs used to use way back. I put that in my cream so that it can kill ile ukali yote pale. So the process won't be as fast as you think. It will be a slower process. You will not get sunburns as for how people in want to me and they get sunburns, they get pimples, easy breakage from the faces. I think it's because of too much chemical in it. So I killed my product with that kind of cream. I can't say what it is, but just know it's homemade.
Okay.
And it's we use natural substance. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Dr. Winnie Njenga, again, I wanted to react to what Sabrina is saying. That, again, a lot of people use very, very harsh chemicals because some clients want results very, very fast, right? So for her, she's using something that will somewhat help kill, the harsh chemicals so that, again, you achieve the desired results in a bit of a slow, progression. What do you have to say to that?
Thank you, Swabra, so much for your honesty. I appreciate her honesty because there are many people who they don't want to say what she's saying, but that's what they really think. Yeah? So thank you so much for that. What I would advise is, if you have a concern about your skin, please see a dermatologist. If you're concerned that your skin is dull or you want it to be brighter, please see a dermatologist. Reason being, you can use some of this, what we call natural or herbs or, like organic. Nowadays I hear people like the word organic.
Organic, yes.
When you're using some of those products, the thing is, how much research have you done on these products? Some of these things, there's a reason why we don't just pick something from a plant and put it on the skin. There are very few plants which you can do that with. Most of the plants, if you do that, you actually get burns on your skin, right? It's because there's a certain way that plants interact with the sun. Plants require the sun for survival. And when you put those things on your skin, and then you expose your skin to the sun, and by the way, when I talk about exposing yourself to the sun, I don't mean that you have to go outside and sit under a tree. Even when you're seated inside your house or your office, as long as you can see with natural light and you don't need to put the lights on, it means the sun's UV rays are in that space. So you're still exposed to the sun. And usually what I experience is that many patients end up having side effects from those herbs, leave alone even the bleaching creams. Those herbs themselves will end up interacting with the sun in a very negative way on your skin. And if you're doing this long term, then we really do end up damaging the skin. For me, I would say try as much as possible not to use creams which no one can tell you what it is. This is something else I find a bit dangerous because sometimes someone will have a negative reaction to something they've applied, but they don't know what it is. So you don't even know what to tell them to avoid. For instance, if a patient comes to hospital today and we give you paracetamol for pain, and you have a negative reaction to paracetamol, you will go wherever you're going. Even if you're going to see another doctor, you will tell them, I was given paracetamol and I had a negative reaction. Therefore, that doctor will not expose you to that same drug again. But if you're using something which we don't know the content, and you have a negative reaction, what can we say you're reacting to? We don't know. So there's a high chance you may be repeatedly exposed to the same thing which you're reacting negatively to, and that's definitely not good for your health. So I would discourage.
All right. Dr. Winnie, I know I have to release you, but can I ask to just stay with us for like 10 more minutes because we need to discuss the impact, of bleaching, either short-term or long-term. But for now, how about you take a look at your feedback before we go on a break? And the question that we're asking you is, have you ever been discriminated against based on your skin tone? The question of the day is right there on your screen. Have you ever been discriminated? Mercy Gift says, yes, those in UAE can tell Africans we're suffering because of our skin tone. It is not easy, all right? And then someone else says, this is James Mzalendo said, more than 1,000 times. If you have not encountered the Asians, or rather Indians living in Kenya, then you know nothing, all right? And then someone else says, this is Karuamba Mangale says, the answer is a yes. Rangetao is a bonus for attractiveness. Yes, I have been discriminated, not once, not twice. Hata wasichana wanapendelea wavulana weupe having a lighter skin tone. This evens the odds for you. Watu weusi wanakipata-pata. Awi. All right, on to us. All right, Boniface Ocean said no, and I don't care if someone will ever do. All right. Someone else says, this is Andrew Mwiga says, yes, a lady told me she can't marry a brown man. Okay, so keep tweeting. Jackie will also react to some of this feedback that we have, but we need to take a break. Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. But like I said, if you need to call in and speak to either Jackie, Dr. Winnie, or Sabrina, feel free again to give us a call. The numbers will be down on your screen. But for now, let's take a short break. We'll see you right after.
That cancer is one of the leading causes of deaths in Kenya? You no longer have to travel outside the country as KUTRRH is changing the face of cancer through their new Integrated Molecular Imaging Center, IMIC, the first ever in a public hospital in the region. That includes state-of-the-art equipment for the early diagnosis.
The record for most Premier League wins in a row is 18, shared by Manchester City and Liverpool. So City's 12-game winning streak this season might not have gained too much notice until it ended last weekend. With the club at its lowest ebb for many years, there were low expectations of immediate success, giving Xavi time to make an impression. Xavi has quickly laid a basic foundation for Barcelona's return to greatness. All the news and analysis of European football on The Football Review.
Wow, thank you for your time. How juicy.
Juicy. Juicy.
Jazaraha na Shell Shinda Nyumba promotion is on. Buy 1,000 or 300 shillings worth of Shell fuel or buy lubricants to get a code and double points when you buy Shell V-Power and redeemable points as a Shell Club member. Jazaraha na Shell Shinda Nyumba. Terms and conditions apply.
It'll now take 36 hours to transport cargo from the port of Mombasa to Malaba. The reduced transit times now mean customers will receive their cargo much faster. You shall enjoy affordable rates from $860 for a 20-foot container.
It is safe to say we are right on track. The First Lady.
I was born to be rich and to live in a gorgeous house like the Santanders.
Look, my girl, things aren't that way.
Yes, they are.
How many times have I told you not to interrupt me on the phone?
Ana Melina San Juan is on the phone.
Who?
Leonardo Santander's wife wants to talk to you.
I'll call you back later.
Leonardo, I did not organize this meeting to ask you about anything.
So, why then?
Well, this meeting is to inform you that I'm going back to university whether you like it or not.
The First Lady.
Get an 8-acre plot at a limited offer price which starts from 198,000 shillings only. Join us for our open day on the 5th of February 2022. SMS LAND to 21595 for inquiries.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. If you're just joining us right now, today our focus is on the impact of colorism in the country. And of course, during the first part of the show, we were trying to understand what exactly is colorism and what happens to the skin once you introduce these chemicals that end up changing the tone of your skin. So if you have ever experienced discrimination based on your skin tone, feel free to tweet us at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie, or like I said, if you want to call in and ask, let's say, a question to either my guest, that is Jackie Care, who is a life coach, Dr. Winnie Njenga, who is a clinical dermatologist, or Swabrina Yusuf Said, who is a business woman, then feel free. The numbers are down on your screen. But listen to this now. Vera Sidika, we all know her, right? She actually lightened her skin. We all know that, right? And she said this in an interview, you know, that the response was overwhelming after she lightened her skin, right? And she said that she got more business deals and got more gigs as soon as she lightened her skin. And also, men complimented her more, and even the number of suitors actually increased. This is after she lightened her skin. So, Jackie, and this is a lot of pressure that so many women, I would say, because majority of the people who go through this are women. We're not saying that men do not do this completely, because I watched a video where a man actually, you know, was doing this, and he said he never felt confident until he lightened his skin. So is it more of the pressure then to actually match up to the standard of beauty that has been portrayed out there?
Yeah, it's the pressure to match up to the beauty standards that have been put in place by the society. And like I mentioned before, rewarded behavior is repeated. So I lighten my skin and I am rewarded for it. And when you're rewarded for it, you actually feel like it actually works. And all you need to do, you know, advertising is for you to go and say, I did this from before and after. After this, my business went up, my suitors were so many people, my confidence went up. And when people hear that, people become attracted to this. And it reinforces the perception that we have as a society that actually light skin, light tone is more beautiful, it's more attractive. So it actually reinforces that. It reinforces colorism that we are talking about.
But then what does that say about us? Like, for example, me, if I decide to go and lighten my skin or bleach my skin, simply because to match up to the standards, you know, the society has put up as far as beauty is concerned, what does that say really about me?
What it says about you is that you had a problem with your body image. The concept of your body image. All of us have a self-body image concept. Now, the healthy one is where you are okay with it, you have accepted it, you know that I have flaws. It's not that you accept it because it's perfect.
No.
Yeah,
No.
but you can, if you need to go to the gym, you can go to the gym, or you can correct the things that you can, but some you can't. And when your perception of your body image is flawed, and I'm not even saying that the people who lighten their skin, their body image is flawed.
No.
Because for some of them, they have accepted everything. All they need to tweak is kutoa tint.
Yes.
And they remove it and they feel like, okay, fine. Now I have the body image that
I
really wanted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it can be dangerous. Because if you have it flawed, you will remove the tint, yes, and then the next time you will want to correct something else. Yes. And now you find the people who are always doing procedures, buying things, yes, buying stuff to just correct this body image, and they never get it because of what they are chasing. Yes.
Exactly. And,
yes.
and I'd want you to, again, answer this in terms of, does it then get to that point of addiction where you somewhat have achieved what you wanted,
yes,
but then you still want more, and then once you want more, you still want more, you know?
Yes.
So does it ever get to that point of addiction? Can you answer that after I speak to Sabrina? And Sabrina, we've talked about an aspect of this is more common among women who are like, me, I want to lighten my skin, me, I want to brighten my skin, me, I want that glow, right? But do you have like male clients?
Yes, I've had like 3 male clients.
Okay.
And in my society, even men using that, I think it's normal for us. Because as you say, some men don't even feel confident. They think as if where I come from, men who are light-skinned are treated with respect. They're still handsome, as they call it, other than men who are dark-skinned. But mostly, if for me, I can say, if I'm doing this for my skin, I can never go for a light-skinned man. What will we be doing with a light-skinned man? So yes, I have clients who are men. Not many, but
a few. So when they come to you, what do they say? I mean, are they like, let's say, for example, dark-toned who want to actually go brighter and lighter? Or are there someone who are just lighter? They just want to, you know, be a little bit fairer so that they can be treated right, like you said?
I will be honest with you. Among the few who have gotten, I got only like 2 straight men. I didn't ask as to why they wanted to brighten their skin or anything, because I didn't want to go deep into business with this man. But most clients who are men, they're not straight. They gay.
Okay.
Those are my clients.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I hear you. Now, you talked about an aspect of, for your products, they are a bit slower. You don't just start using them today and then the following day you start receiving results, right? So how long does it take? Like, suppose I come to you and say, Sabrina, I want to change my skin because I'm dark toned, right? And yeah, there was some time I was told to apply foundation like all over, you know, my skin to look a little bit brighter. I mean, I did not like that, but it's all good. It's all good, right? So how long is too long? Suppose I come to you and say, Sabrina, I want to change and be like you, look like you, you know? How long will that take? And do you tailor-make your products to fit specific, you know, needs for your clients?
One thing I will tell you, if I have a client like you, because I've had clients like you, I will first tell the client, this process will be slower, but you will really appreciate it, because most of my clients, wengine hata hawatumii mafuta, so you're dark skinned and the doctor is dark skinned, but she looks really beautiful. Unaona, your skin, hata ukipaka normal lotions, you just have that kind of glow when you come out. So I will tell someone, you will have that kind of glow slowly. Your skin will start to brighten up a bit from your dark color. It will take a process of about 6 months for you not to get to where I am, because you'll have to use it for a while, maybe a year or so. You cannot just attain this color for 2 or 3 months. That would be a lie. I will not lie to you like that. I will just be scamming you of your money. will take a year also for you to be, and it really needs patience and hard work. Hii kazi ya kujisumbua ni ngumu sana.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do I have to do then? What do I have to do to achieve the color your color?
Let me tell you, process ya kujipaka hii mkorogo si kama it's not like applying lotion.
Yeah.
You know, you just apply lotion like this and do this,
and then
just
you're out of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell my clients, if you're not working under the sun during the day, you can do it in the morning. You can do that. You can just apply and just go to work. But at night, you need to sit down, like really scrub your body. Unaona vile watu wanasuguaga sufuria?
Yes.
You really need to do that on your elbows, on your knees, on your armpits, thighs, because most clients, they have dark necks, dark armpits, and dark thighs, and under the button cheeks.
Yeah.
Buttocks, cheeks, yes. So it's a process when it gets during the night, like tutakanika tumeandikwa kazi usiku, because you really need to scrub your body. Unajisugua like twice.
With the products?
With
the products?
Yes, with the product. Yes.
Okay. So, wait, so for how long? Like you're sitting there, you're scrubbing your body. Like for how long? How long does it take? And then, of course, we saw, you know, you doing a bit of your work there, like, you know, with the korogos and all those things. How long does it take you, first of all, for you to just make them korogo?
It takes me just an hour.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, just an hour.
Just an hour.
To make that. Okay. Yeah. So for someone then who is using, like you said, usiku, it's a lot of work. It's not for the faint-hearted, right? So when you say you have to really, really scrub your body, are there steps that maybe you need to take? Number one, maybe wash up. Number two, maybe, I don't know, use a scrub. Number three, then apply. I mean, are there steps the one has to follow?
Yeah, you have to take a bath. There's some kind of soap which also brightens up your skin. Use that. Take a bath really well. Na sio kuoga kama vile wanaume. We need to like sit down and take a bath.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We need to scrub our bodies. It starts from the bathroom. To where you go and apply the lotion.
Okay. And then do you have to somewhat sit for a while and allow the lotion to work before you go to bed, or what usually happens?
Yeah, you have to sit and let it dry, because it dry. I can say about mine, it dries instantly. That's why I tell my clients to apply like 2 pots during the night. You have to apply the first pot and let it dry. Then do it again, the second pot. Then you can just flip.
Okay. Now, for you, like you said, you did a lot of research before you came up with your products, right? So then how do you know, like, this is what you mix with this, in what quantities? Like, how do you know that mixing all these things will give the desired results and is safe? Because like you said, there's some clients who really, really appreciate your products, and others who might come, you know, and say, I reacted to this or I reacted to that.
I will be honest, very honest, because the doctor is here. I don't want to lie.
We appreciate that. We really, really appreciate that. Appreciate your honesty.
Okay. When I got into this business, I was taught by a friend. I didn't know anything about the chemicals, how much percentage. I didn't even care about that.
Yeah.
Like, I really bought all this stuff just to mix and sell, because she was doing it and her clients were brighter. But when it came to time, I was like, there's some substance she's using that are giving me breakouts, because I have to use it first before I sell it. They're giving me breakouts, like I have stretch marks. So I was like, this needs to go.
Okay.
So in due time, I came to learn, like, this is not haiko kali sana. I have to use this. I did my own research. Siwezi kukwambia kuwa najua percentage.
Yeah.
Sijui kukwambia. I just did ile research ya akili tu. Because where I come from, Waswahili tuna mix tu kama vile amesema. We just mix everything. As long as umesikia hii ni nzuri, you just pick, and that's it. But in due time, I came and sat and I was like, utasikia mtu akikwambia, I react to this. I react to this, because most people use it hivyo peke yake. So I was like, okay, let me take this and see how it does on my skin. If it reacts, then it's not good. That is how I did my research. But siwezi kukwambia ati nilisoma chemicals, sijasoma hizo chemical, na wala sijui.
Okay. All right, Dr. Windy, I want you to react to the same, because Sabrina is saying, listen, My products, it takes time. I can't lie to you. You'll come today and then tomorrow you're like the fairest of them all. Okay, it takes time. So is the slower the progression, much safer? And also Jackie was asking this, are there like safer ways that you can tint your skin, you know, and not, you know, experience like side effects here and there?
Okay, so I really appreciate Sabrina's honesty because most people will not be that honest.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And it's to me, it's encouraging because it tells me as a society, we are also willing to improve ourselves. So what I can say, for me personally, I honestly don't think anyone at all has a reason to lighten their skin. What I'll tell you is sometimes I find patients who actually have genuine concerns about their skin. They may have a condition that they're not aware of because they've never had a diagnosis. So they're just managing it as this is dullness of the skin. Yet you actually do have a condition which requires treatment. And if you get treatment, then the skin is better. When you're asking about safe ways of, I had using the term brightening the skin.
Yes.
Yes, so I tend to think some of these words are just sort of, what should I say, politically correct words we use because there's some negative connotation to the word bleaching.
Yeah.
Because with time, as people have sort of been exposed, they tend to think there's something negative about the word bleaching. Hence, people have come up with brightening and other terms. The thing is that most of the time there are some chemicals that they will be using. So what I would say is, if you're asking about safe ways, I would not say there are safe ways to bleach your skin, but I would definitely say there are ways of taking care of your skin because you can have good skin. Everyone can have good skin. If you visit a dermatologist, they'll be able to tell you what your particular issue is. Maybe some people, I find especially women above 30 years, you may find someone had struggled with conditions such as acne when they were younger, and then it left them with a bit of scarring, with a bit of aftermath after the acne, and that has not been taken care of. And now they classify themselves as someone who has dull skin, and now they want it to be brighter. But actually what you need is just to see a doctor who can sort that out for you, and suddenly you have no issue with the glow, what people are calling the glow. So for me, I would say they're very different. Your skin is just like any other organ in your body. The same way if you had back pain, you would go to a doctor and they would recommend for this type of back pain, maybe you need to do certain types of exercises. For this kind of back pain, maybe you need a different seat than the one you're using in the office. Maybe you need a different mattress on your bed. Maybe you need to change your posture. Maybe you need different kinds of medicine. And that's exactly the same thing with your skin. You don't need a quick fix. And please remember, your skin renews itself. It's a continuous process. Every 28 days, your skin has refreshed. So you will never actually be able to get rid of your genetic color if you're not using these things continuously. The day you stop is the day problems come. Most of those patients come to me after they've decided either I've spent too much money or now let me look for a long-term solution, or maybe they've had some few issues with the products and then now they, you know what, it's time to stop. But it's not usually easy to stop. Reason being, your skin has developed what we call tachyphylaxis. It no longer responds exactly the same way to the same dose you give it. So it's like you need a higher dose. And the higher the dose you use, the worse your skin becomes because the side effects become stronger and stronger. So for me, I would say if you have a skin concern, you would be very surprised. People actually have skin conditions which can be treated. And once they're treated, you don't need that brightening or whatever. And you can even get advice on how to take care of your skin on a daily basis for the particular concerns that you have.
Yeah,
from
but
a dermatologist.
there's some people who do not have concerns with their skin. They just want to be lighter. Yeah, wanataka brown kama Sabrina. All right. So for someone like that who's like, I really don't have issues. I just want to change my tone a little bit because maybe I have been discriminated or I do not feel confident enough in my skin.
Yes. So that's a really good point you bring out because I happen to think it's not particularly the person who wants to lighten their skin that has a problem, I think our society has a problem because by the time this person is feeling like this is the only way I can move on in life, it's because society has made you feel like you will not get this job. Because I can imagine if you're like the story you were telling us, if you're a newscaster and you cannot get a job because your skin is dark, where else are you going to work? You need someone to give you the job. So you see, that can really push someone to the edge. So for me, what I think it's a cultural problem. Unfortunately, I think this problem started out in the times of colonialism. And unfortunately, it goes way further than even just the skin tone, because you can ask yourself questions like, why is it that in many stories or movies, the devil is painted as black?
Yes.
But they paint good things as white. Why are people scared of black cats, but they're not scared of white cats?
The
They're
rich
both
ones are
cats.
usually fairer. The rich ones are fairer, and then the poor ones are... Why?
Yes. So it's actually a cultural and socialization issue, such that you're put in an environment where you feel that way. If you grew up in a place where no one commented on the color of your skin for life, you probably would not have a problem with the color of your skin. But the reason why you have a problem with it is because you have been made to, maybe someone was told a very negative comment when they are very young, like a little girl, maybe a girl who's like 10 years, 12 years, you tell them something about their skin color, that can affect their self-esteem for so many years to come. And she can always feel like, I'll never be beautiful because of the color of my skin. So I think it's upon us as a society to redefine our standards of beauty and to avoid being the person, because some of these things, we don't do them intentionally. You do it unintentionally. We all contribute to this culture because, I mean, that's how terms like yellow yellow have come up. How come no one talks about the other people? There are also people, but you'll just hear people commenting about, no, there's this yellow, as though they didn't notice the other people. And there's nothing wrong with being light-skinned, and there's nothing wrong with being beautiful, but you need to teach your eye to see beyond, to see more varieties of beauty. So I really think it's us to change how we look at things as a society.
All right, I like that. And I know I might need to let you go very, very soon. So just take us through some of the short-term and long-term impacts of lightening, bleaching, brightening, glowing. And also, if used in the right quantities, does it mean that then it's safe?
Now, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but there's no right quantity. There's no right quantity of lightening the skin. Like I told you, your skin generates continuously. Therefore, if you're trying to chase that melanin, you need to do it continuously. Otherwise, the day you stop, the color comes back. The unfortunate bit is that part of the side effects of using these creams is that your skin is unable to regenerate as well as it would before. So if you get even the slightest injury, like a cut, the skin doesn't heal well. You end up with bad scars. You end up with pigmentation issues. Not to mention, there are some areas of the skin which respond not the same as the rest of the body. So sometimes you'll find someone has knuckles
that are a bit darker,
which have refused to conform. And of course, it can't make you feel any better. Actually, it starts pointing out to a problem. It sort of is exposing what you're doing, which is not a good thing. Some of you can actually start, depending on the strength of creams you're using, you can start having side effects as soon as within 3 days to 1 week of using those creams. Within 2 weeks, your skin is already getting addicted. So you can imagine if you've used this for 6 months, how will that reversal process be? The truth is, anyone who lightens their skin will tell you, most often than not, they're unable to stop intentionally. Most people actually say, when I started, I just wanted to do it for a short time to achieve something. Maybe they had a wedding coming up, maybe they had something happening, and they just wanted to look their best. Let's call it best in quotes. And they start doing this. Yes. And then you realize your skin has already become dependent. then now what do? Anytime they try to stop, the skin misbehaves, so they keep going back. And the other thing is sometimes these things weaken your skin's natural immunity. The sun is one of the things your skin really has to handle on a daily basis. The sun can be a good thing if you have good sun practices, which means you're exposing yourself to not very hot sun to avoid sunburn, but also generally you're using products like sunscreen to protect your skin. So when you're using these things and they're reducing your ability to respond to the sun or to protect you from the sun, that's when you start seeing people getting redness. Sometimes you see people with a lot of redness on their face for no understandable reason. Some of them, it becomes even black in certain areas. Sometimes that's due to deposits of the creams they're using. Other times is as a side effect, you develop a condition called melasma, whereby you have abnormal hyperpigmentation on certain areas of your skin. Worse still, you can develop new problems like breakouts and acne, which perhaps you didn't have before that. Worse still, you can develop other conditions which are associated with the blood vessels on the skin, conditions such as rosacea. At its worst, of course, your body is absorbing these chemicals, so you can sometimes develop some signs of toxicity because these things, unfortunately, some of the products that you use to lighten the skin, they deposit in your body. Your liver keeps them. Your kidneys struggle to get rid of them. So if you're doing this for a very long time, you start having organ issues, which sometimes you may not be able to know where they came from, because most people will, when they go to the doctor, especially if you're going for something else, like maybe you have back pain or something like that, you'll never mention to the doctor that I use bleaching creams. So then the doctor may not be able to
help you
to
right
bring those 2 points together and realize that this thing is the one that's giving you this other problem. And you may find you're in and out of hospital for so many years, yet the real culprit is what you're putting on your skin.
But
so there's a myriad of
what about those ones who, I don't know whether it's the injection part, where every single part of their body actually changes completely. Like you will not even see like dark knuckles. They look perfect, quote unquote.
Yes.
Okay. And so many people would want to actually try what they're using.
Yes. So yes, there are those chemicals which can do that. Sometimes it's because that person is using those creams, but they haven't used them for very long. Therefore, the long term, because the side effects are some which are short term and others which are long term. So if you've used it for a short time and the long term side effects haven't set in, then you actually may look pretty flawless. But it's just a matter of time. If you're doing the injections, of course you have gaps in between at the point where the drug is sort of wearing out in strength. That's the time when the skin can look a bit different. Like it may not look as light as you want, but it's not completely dark, and your skin starts having some other shades which are perhaps not very understandable. So yes, different types of bleaching agents exist, and depending on what you're using, you can look different from the next person.
All right. Can I take your parting shot as far as then the long-term effects? Because I mean, while I was reading, I was doing my research, they're saying you could develop like problems with the heart, with the kidneys.
Yes. So you definitely can develop some very long-term issues, starting with poisoning. You can have long-term poisoning in your body from accumulation of these products, especially if you're not really taking care. For someone who, for instance, has used it for, there are people who start using these creams as young as in their teenage, and you find someone has used them all through into their 50s. So such a person, there are even tests, medical tests, which we need to do just to find out if your organs are working okay. Because some of these drugs actually suppress some of your organs the way they work, so they cannot work naturally. So if you take such a person off that cream in one day, then that person can actually end up in very severe illness, admitted, or even in ICU because of the kind of response they get, because some of their organs have literally kind of shut down because of using those creams. And then of course you can have other long-term issues such as kidney damage. You can have use of these things is actually associated with a lot of mental anxiety and depression, because clearly by the time you feel you need to take such a step, there's already a problem that you're not dealing with. And if you ignore that problem and choose to put a band-aid on top by simply bleaching the skin and not dealing with the issues behind why you feel it's necessary to bleach the skin, it's just a matter of time before another situation in life takes you back to that same place where, again, you feel like your confidence is at risk.
All right.
So remember your issues of self-confidence, which actually everyone has, they're not all sorted simply by the color of your skin. You'll find the same problem now, perhaps in business or in another, different sphere. And this leads to a lot of anxiety and depression, and also the issue of judgment, because as much as the same society encourages people to be very light-skinned, they're also very quick to judge. If someone confesses that I've been doing this to give myself better chances, then immediately people look at you as, what's the problem? Why did you feel like you need to do this? So, yes, so there are also those mental issues, which it's important to actually talk about them. You can talk about them with your doctor. You can address issues of self-confidence, and you'll be surprised it's help for you. There are therapists and people like that who can assist you.
Yeah, and of course, Jackie is here and she'll be talking more about the mental issues and, of course, how best, what can we do to just correct the situation. But for now, Dr. Winnie, we have to say goodbye to you, but thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us this morning and, of course, giving us insights as far as, the medical aspect of it when it comes to skin lightening or bleaching or brightening. All right. So Dr. Winnie Jenga, who is a clinical dermatologist, thank you very much for sparing your time to speak with us this morning. Have yourselves a lovely day, Dr. Winnie. All right. So we're taking a very short break, but of course, when we come back, we still have Jackie Care, who's a life coach, and Sabrina Yusuf Said, who is a businesswoman and being very candid with us this morning as far as this business is concerned, and that we appreciate. But keep sending your feedback as far as the question that we're asking you, and that is on the impact of colorism. And we're asking you, have you ever been discriminated against based on your skin tone? We'll be looking at your feedback after this short break. Stay with us.
Subscribe to Classic Bouquet on aerial decoder for 899 shillings or Smart Bouquet on satellite for only 999 shillings, or you can watch on the Star Times On app. Star Times, home of the Africa Cup of Nations 2021.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. With all due respect. Should we despair at this push and pull as President Uhuru Kenyatta decided to choose judges and leave others?
Questions have been raised on the 6th.
There's so many questions to think about.
The way to clear those questions is a process through JSC.
This is not the process. If the president had issues before,
yes,
when these people are being interviewed, he should have raised these issues then.
It is not to say that after 2010 judges are not committing any crimes. You can go to the judiciary and have missing files, and it is not missing. Hiyo file kupatikana ati ujipange ati cheza kama wewe James Smart, cheza kama wewe.
Asifiwe wa Kenya wenzangu. Kupata wimbo ya kwamba wachana nao waliokuumiza, utabonyeza *812 *801#. Kumbuka Skiza na Nation, supporting local talents.
I see you found yourself a friend.
Isn't she just great?
Well, let her bring her papers. We see what we can do.
Really? Your father has refused with my child.
Go in peace, Annie. Please.
How do you expect me to live without Tasha? And she's...
Listen,
She's home, she's safe. Go have fun. Call James, whatever. Just go.
That little being is going to exit out of your life as fast as she came in. Yeah. I hope she dies tonight.
The governor of the county government of Busia, His Excellency Sospeter Odeke Ojamong, is pleased to announce to all property owners a 100% waiver on all outstanding interest and penalties on land rates valid from 26 January to 30th April 2022.
No, Kata, you're the only beautiful thing I have left in all this madness.
So what happened to you then? What happened to Cardenas? Where were you?
I can't tell you that right now. But I promise I'll tell you the whole truth in due time.
What are you hiding from me, Pablo? You think I'm stupid? Don't lie to me!
That's not it, Kata.
Tell me where the boy is! Tell me! My goodness, this is too much.
Return of Lucas in association with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion.
Celebrate the skin you're in and dress with confidence with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. The triple layered care of deep moisture serum, precious cocoa butter, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Wear your skin with pride every time with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion.
Here at NMG, we are working very hard to ensure your favorite publications, Daily Nation, Business Daily, Taifa Leo, and the East African are readily available. In a bid to support the efforts to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, NMG has ensured our staff, our distributors, and their staff adhere to set guidelines. At our printing plant, all staff are required to wash their hands before entering the factory and must be wearing a mask. All workers either change their clothes on entering the factory or wear an overcoat. We are keeping doors open to avoid our staff touching door handles repeatedly. With our automated printing, contact with the newspaper is kept to a minimum, and at the packing process, the staff observe social distancing. Vehicles used to transport the newspapers are disinfected daily before the newspapers are loaded, and our delivery staff all wear masks and wash their hands regularly. Our vendors ensure that they sanitize every time they handle money and wear their masks at all times. NMG is proud to be able to safely meet your information needs. Stay safe, stay informed with our favorite NMG publications.
Get an 8-acre plot at a limited offer price which starts from 198,000 shillings only. Join us for our open day on the 5th of February 2022. SMS LAND to 21595 for inquiries.
All right, welcome back. We are in the last phase of the discussion, and that is on the impacts of colorism in the country. And of course, we all understand it's not only in the country, but also it is a global issue that really needs to be addressed. And of course, during this last phase, we'd want to understand. So then, what do we do to make sure that then we do not judge people based on their skin tone? And will we ever get to that point where we just get over this thing called colorism? Okay, so you want to stick around for that discussion. But for now, let's take a look at your feedback, what you have to say as far as the question of the day. And Tony Tonikson says it is the order of the day in Kenya. A lot of colorism, Africans being racist for their fellow race. Okay. And then Eunice Becky Owiro says colorism in Kenya only applies whereby light-skinned people are perceived more beautiful than dark ones. All right, thank you for that. Lydia Wangila says, not yet, but no one will make me feel bad about my dark color. Hey, I like that, okay? And then someone else says, this is Stella Ogutu says, discrimination of color has and always will be there. I myself went through the same situation. This thing will never end, okay? Thank you, Stella. Then someone else says, this is Abdi the Dawn says, yeah, I have been numerously discriminated because of such, and efforts to renew my passport are almost futile. Wow. Okay. Okay. And that is just so sad, you know, Jackie, to hear like going to that extent where now this person needs this document, but they can't get it because of the color of their skin.
That is sad.
Yeah.
And like the doctor mentioned, and I think you mentioned, if the color of your skin can affect the income that you get, which is livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, that is sad.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk to Sabrina very, very quickly, and then we'll come back. Remember the question that I asked about, can it get to addiction? I have not forgotten about it.
Yeah.
We'll address it in just a moment. Sabrina, thank you very much for staying with us. And like we said, we really, really, really appreciate how candid you are with us this morning. So when it comes to some people who probably come to you and say, listen, I used your product and I experienced a bit of side effect here or reaction there, how do you handle such?
Okay, I've gotten a few clients who've gone through that. Like they have breakouts, not about the stretch marks. I've not even gotten clients ambao wamesema labda imewadhuru or something. Breakouts, yes, only breakouts. So I tend to give them these natural herbs whereby they get scrubs to scrub their faces in the morning and at night before they go to sleep. So it helps with that. I deal with it whenever a client comes to me and says, your product has done this to me. I try and find a solution to help them.
Okay. All right. Have you experienced anyone who has experienced like adverse reaction from your product?
No, that is why I tell you, the kind of secret thing I'm using in my products doesn't allow you to get such reaction.
Okay, adverse reaction to the same. Okay, now, do we have others? Because like we said, colourism, I mean, it applies mostly to the dark toned people. But also, like we said earlier on, there are some men, and even one I think wrote in and said, hey, mimi kuna mtu alisema hizi olewa na mtu brown, all right, like a brown skin man, okay? Because like we said earlier on, they're deemed as weak, how easy kitu, you know. So have you had like clients who are like, listen, maybe I'm light, like I want to be dark. Do you have clients like that? Or we only see those who just want to be light?
No, I've never had clients like that.
But do you have products for them, just in case they come?
I have products for the dark-skinned, not I cannot turn you to black. I cannot.
Because there's some people who want to turn black. Now, Jackie, let's talk about then the impact of colorism, right? Because we said that yes, there's some people who say, I prefer to be lighter because I feel more beautiful and all those things. But then again, to what extent does it go? And what impact does it have? And especially when it comes to like psychological, you know, mental, you know, aspects of the same.
Yeah. I like what the doctor said about self-confidence, and also Sabrina said most people come to her because they want to feel more confident. When you're feeling the feeling of, for you to achieve confidence, if it is tied to only the color of your skin, then it's going to be elusive. Confidence is going to sound so elusive to you. The best confidence is found from within. Yes. So one of the things that we need to do, if we need to build our confidence, we need to start from within. When we do it from the outside and through the skin, just changing our skin tone, the skin color, the glow. And I think also the doctor mentioned it. We feel like imposters because it is a secret.
True.
We can't, most of us can't even say it. That is why we really, really honor and applaud Sabrina for her honesty. But most people don't say it. Because there's also stigma attached to that process.
You want to achieve a certain look, you achieve it, and then still there's stigma surrounding
so how do you even own that confidence? So you'll still not have your self-confidence back. The best way to get your self-confidence is to work from within, not from outside. Yes.
Now, can you ever get to that point of addiction? And Sabrina said, listen, my products, I mean, they're slow. So the progression is very slow. You will not see results in like 2 days or 3 days. But some people don't have that patience. I want to start using the products today, and tomorrow I am light skinned because of, let's say, stigma, because of, again, I don't feel confident. I really want to feel confident. I am not attracting enough suitors, so I want to have enough suitors. More of them flocking to my side. So people do not have patience, you know, for that. So will it ever, do you think like such behaviors get to that point of addiction where fully dependent on some of these products?
You know, I like the term that you're using, dependent. Now, as the doctor said, when you stop it, your skin goes back.
Degenerates and it goes
so
back.
you end up not using it because you're not using it because because it is something that you want to achieve, you continue using it to stop the process of going back to the skin color that you are. Yes. It's just like addictions. If you're addicted to a drug, you are not now using it. When you get to the addiction point, to the dependency point, you're not using it because you love it and you enjoy it. It's because if they don't, they get sick.
Yes.
So they now chase it just to get the balance, to be able to balance. Yeah. So it's not really addiction now, it is dependency. And I think your skin is dependent on this mafuta. You cannot do without it.
Without it, yeah. And like Dr. Winnie said, again, you just can't stop. Once
you can't
start,
stop.
You can't stop.
Yeah. So there's that aspect. But there's also an aspect of something called body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is what we allegedly think, the mental health people allegedly think Michael Jackson had. Body dysmorphia is you see flaws in your body. So you go and correct the skin. The next time you go for...
You find something with your lips.
Bat injections.
Yes,
you go for... You're always finding a flaw.
Something.
So when they look in the mirror, they're never good enough. They always find a flaw in their body. So they're almost like addicted, but it's because they're chasing for that perfect body that they will never get, because body dysmorphia makes you look at imperfections every time you are standing in front of the mirror.
All right. And for Sabrina, so I mean, for your product, does it ever get to that point where you need to stop using it, or once you start, you never stop? It's like your daily, you know, it's something that has to be incorporated in your life every single day. You have to use, let's say, the lotion or your products every day. Or do you have ones that you use for a specific number of times, you know, or period of time, and then you stop?
Okay, like the madam has said, this is like, it becomes dependency on your skin. You know, you cannot just tell me you're dark skinned, then you need to leave it in a certain period of time just because you've become light skinned. Definitely, you'll still go back to your genetic color. You will still go back to it. But with a certain period of time, maybe if you're tired of using it, and it will maintain for a while. But after a while, you'll start seeing that you're going back to your normal color.
Okay. What is like the age range for you that most people usually come to seek for your products?
Okay, this is a nice one. So like you've said, nowadays we live in another kind of society. I even get kids from high school.
Wow.
Yes, I do. The society, the kind of society where I live in, kids from school are exposed to this kind of things. So they want to do it even before they get into the stage maybe of marriage, the stage maybe of getting a job. Like you said, like light-skinned are given a bit of privilege. So if you're light-skinned, you're glowing, obviously you will get a job. And all this is brought by, I would say mostly by men, because men in our society discriminate a lot of dark women. So girls feel like they don't have any other option but to use it.
Okay, and Jackie, listening to that, like 15 is such a young age.
It is such a young age, but somehow I'm not really surprised. You know, the Insta world has a lot of peer pressure.
Oh yes, oui, Instagram. And you know, Sabrina actually talked about this. And said, listen, Instagram filters. You see someone and you think they're like the fairest of them all. They look absolutely perfect in all those things.
And,
so yes,
and considering that between my age and their ages, who is more in that world, the Insta world? It's them.
Exactly.
Yeah. You want to, and nowadays just one of your, you know, when I was young, when you asked what do you want to become, it was maybe a teacher, you know.
Doctor,
now there's an influencer in the list.
Absolutely.
When they grow up, I want to become
like
an
doctors
influencer.
and all those things were somewhat like shelving them for a moment, as we just want to be influencers.
Yes, I want to be an influencer. And when you go to your influencers timeline, they look perfect.
Absolutely.
When you look at the cover girls in the magazine, there's a certain standard of beauty that does magazine. There's a standard of beauty that is seen on TV, you know? So that is what they will chase.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then what do we do to this young generation? And we'll address that when we're talking about then solutions. What do we do? Because the vice is here with us. There's so many people who have experienced the most harshest of comments. Again, experienced stigma on highest level. So then what do we do? Because someone actually tweeted it and said, this will never end. It has always been there. It is here and it will never ever end. You know, and we want to be a little bit optimistic, you know, for so many people. So for you, Sabrina, and where you come from, I think this is, it's like normal, right? Amongst your culture, it's more or less normal, right? So have you, let's say, experienced stigma based on what you do from, let's say, people outside, maybe not necessarily from your region, but even outside, who are like, nyinyi ndo mnaharibu watu, mnaharibu wasichana wadogo. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Yes, I've gotten a lot of comments, and I would say mostly from my type of religion. In my religion, it's I will say it's haram to bleach our skin. But as for me, you say I'll go explain to God, because if this is the kind of business whereby He's making me prosper in it, then I will do this. Then there are those types of men who are like, you're the types of women who make our wives bleach their skin. And I'm like, if you guys went for the dark-skinned in the society, women will not be bleaching their skins. But you have a dark-skinned wife, then they call it what? Mchepuko wako, light-skinned. What do you expect the wife to feel?
Yeah.
That is making her feel not have confidence, I would say. So that is why most women in my society go for this light-skinned color.
All right, and Jackie, listening to that, it's sometimes, and like we said this, there is that aspect of internal bias where you're just like, I am dark skinned, I really don't like it, I don't feel, for some people, I don't feel confident, I just, you know, and the first thing that you notice is a lighter skinned person. But then again, what Sabrina is bringing up is very, very important. Because even for, I think one of the tweets actually said this and said, rangiatao, yellow, yellow, you know, that is what we somewhat are attracted to, right? So this kind of pressure pushing women to that. I may not want to bleach my skin, but simply because the men, I want to be in a relationship with one, but then they're like, you're not light-skinned, so, you know, it's not going to work.
I actually think if you don't accept yourself, nobody's going to accept you.
True.
Yeah. True. And it is okay for somebody to say, I don't like dark women. They're allowed to choose.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just the judgment that we are not saying we have to be accepted totally. People also have a right of choice.
And that's okay.
That should be okay. We should not say that's colorism.
Yeah.
So if somebody does not choose you because you are not light enough for them, it is totally okay. Because if you go and marry them because you have now turned yourself, gotten the glow, and now you go marry them, you will not even feel confident in that marriage. You will always know that, my God, I am an imposter.
Yes.
So imposter syndrome is going to be your portion in that relationship. And I don't think that relationship will be healthy if at all you have these fears at the back of your mind that I'm not totally accepted. Oh my God, now me, I'm a fake. A fake light skin. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then again, the bias is equally the same, especially when it comes to the men.
Yes.
Remember, like we said, there's a men who are deemed weak. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, because simply you are light skinned.
You are light skinned.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing to have this conversation so that we just realize how loose these standards are.
Yeah.
They're not they're not facts. They're so loose. Because Sabrina here will tell us, in her world, where she comes from and where she stays, lighter men are deemed handsome.
Yes.
Yeah. But in the same society, I mean, for most of us, we never got that, the description of a handsome man is always tall, dark. It's never...
No, it's never
light.
Tall, light, and handsome.
And handsome. So there's part of society where tall, light, and handsome is okay. And there's part that tall, dark, and handsome is totally okay. So we need to realize that these terms, the standards of beauty by the society, is so loose that individually you need to know the standard of beauty for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then how bad can it get? And I'm asking this in terms of then, you know, like mentally, how bad can it get? And especially for those people who do not feel confident in their skin tone, they have been pushed to feel that they're not beautiful enough, they're not handsome enough based on the color of their skin. How bad can it get?
Of course, it takes away your confidence. And once your confidence is gone, pursuing relationships, pursuing a fulfilling life, even just pursuing a productive career becomes a challenge. And because you're walking around with this less confidence, it's not even the dark skin at times that makes you not achieve these goals. It's because tayari inside, you're feeling less of a person. So when you pursue things, you're pursuing from a point of less. And then you don't get them because you are pursuing from a point of less than. So you don't achieve them. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that, you see, it's because I am dark. But there are dark people who have totally accepted themselves, and when they walk inside a room, their confidence glows. Yes. And they get all the opportunities. So the impact is self-confidence will go down. And of course, if you're pursuing things with fear, you're going to have anxiety, like the doctor said here, that you're going to have anxiety in life. You live an anxious life. And of course, it also still minimizes your best self.
And it actually shows outside.
It will show
right?
outside.
Yeah.
It will show outside.
And that will deny you like a lot of opportunities.
It
because
denies,
like, this one is not confident enough, this one is not this one is not that.
And we don't reject you at that time because you are dark.
You are dark.
We reject you because of how
What
you're showing up.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So, Sabrina, you are in this business, right? And you've seen it all. You've seen all manner of clients who come to you. You've seen people who, again, stigmatize you based on what you do. But then again, for someone who comes to you, and I mean, you can clearly tell their confidence level is absolutely zero. They really, really want this. They are desperate to change the tone of their, you know, like the tone of their skin or the color of their skin, right? What do you tell them? Because there's some people who are like, don't you worry, I will give you a short dose, quick fix, right? I will give you the quick fix. What do you tell, such people? And especially the teenagers, because I'm really, really concerned about the teenagers. And based on what you said earlier on, filters on Instagram, I want to look like Vera Sidika. So, and filters do not necessarily work for me. So I want another thing.
First, about the filters and all that. You see, we are in a certain type of generation right now, which is so bad, I would say. So bad. We depend so much on these social medias. Like when I started doing this and where I am right now, I am so much based into TikTok. So much, because I sell most of my my products on TikTok. So I was like, I really need to look good so that when a client comes to me or sees me, she will see like I'm really using it also. This is not about the filters or anything. But I met some of these influencers, these high TikTokers and all that. And in reality, they are not as beautiful as you see them on screen. So I was like, okay, I'm the only one who is working hard to show it. Like, I really want to look good on the camera and in person. But nobody else is doing this. Why? So I have like small high school students who come to me and they're like, we want to brighten our skin. I will understand, because I live in a society whereby most of these girls who go to high school, most, not all, most, hawasomi, they just understand that wakimaliza high school, they want to get married or something like that. That is how we are in our society. I'm talking about our society right now. So wakitoka skuli, they want to be seen beautiful because they want to get spouses. And like we say, spouses, these men don't go for dark-skinned girls. They go for light-skinned. So wanawafanya wakue na hiyo peer pressure ya kuwa they want to be light-skinned at an early stage.
All right. Okay, and that's just so sad because, again, so I do not want to be light because I want to be light. For most of these people, it's I want to be light because so that I can attract this and I can attract that. Do you see this behavior ever stopping?
We may not. I see it stopping.
Okay.
It's not going to stop en masse. That we stop. We all stopped.
Yeah.
It just starts with individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we ask, will we? and we want to work as a crowd, we might not do it at the same time. But individuals, the change that you're looking for, the society that you're looking for always starts with
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So individually, we need to start accepting ourselves and totally learning more about us, learning our self-concept, learning who we are beyond the skin, our capabilities, you know, what makes us proud, what is the purpose, the value that we bring to life, those things. We need to start that individually. And then also as parents, most of us who are parents, we need to parent like that. Because that is how we are going to change the society. We need to parent like that. We need to parent our kids in a way that they can totally embrace themselves and accept themselves by us totally accepting them. You know, at times, the rejection, you know, we talk about rejection and think that the rejection is only coming out from the outside. But no, at times the rejection comes from home. From family. Oh my God, you look so pretty. You'd be prettier if you were lighter. If only she was lighter. Yeah. If you were lighter, you'd be just a little bit. And this is family telling you, maybe your mom, your auntie, family that is talking about standards like that. You know, your sister will never miss opportunities. Wewe kwanza na hiyo light skin yako, hakuna kitu utakosa kupa. We just say these sentences and we are planting seeds. So also the conversation at home needs to change. Yes.
I like that. And even some people who are light-skinned, again, there's this bias because remember, like we said, for the men who are lighter, they're deemed as weak. So for the ladies who are lighter skin, they're deemed to be quote-unquote blonde, right? And this also impacts them, right?
Yes, it does. It does impact them because people think that they don't think you have the brains.
You've just,
now because it still stems from the same belief that light skin, light tone will take you anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was someone who was actually sharing her story, and it's a video that I watched, and she was saying, I mean, even entering a room, I don't even need to do much. I just get there and I get, let's say, for instance, if it's an acting role or whatever job that they're looking for, they get the job first, and then they'll be told, now show us what you can, you know, so that the skin somewhat, you know,
works for them.
You know, they don't really have to show much. They just have to. And she was saying it feels bad because I am really, really good at what I do. I want you to give me an opportunity, not based on my skin tone, but based on my skill set, right? So then how do we amplify that? That do not look at someone's skin tone. Just look at what they can do, what they can deliver, and then maybe judge them based on their skin tone, or not even judge them at all.
Now that becomes the individual role that we are talking about, that the change we are looking for starts with us. As individuals, when we look at ourselves deep inside, are we making also this stereotypical judgments on people? And if we are, then we need to bring it down. And see people for who they are. You know? But still, you cannot give what you don't have.
True. And especially those ones that come from the internal bias.
Yes.
Because even in Vodokara, I think I was watching a video as well, and she was saying, listen, we are so accustomed to this. We have normalized colorism such that sometimes we don't even know that we are discriminating people based on their color. For instance, she was saying, I am dark toned, right? But I noticed lighter tone first before dark tone, you know? So it's somewhat like an internal bias.
Because
that
you are socialized in this society. You are socialized to see it in this society. So that is why it starts for you from the individual part. That you need to realize, I do ABCD because I was also socialized like this, and I want to break out of it. When it comes, you need to sit in it and realize my bias is playing a part in this decision that I'm making. I need to tone it down. And with time, we need to practice to really silence it because we were all socialized like that.
All right. Let's talk to Sabrina, and then, of course, I'll come back to you, Jackie, in terms of then fine. After all is said and done, and especially what role does the media play in amplifying some of these messages? Because recently, in the hashtag #MeToo movement, right, there was this picture, I think it's by Vogue, and there were pictures of dark-skinned models, very, very beautiful, but then they were darkened too much. So there was a lot of uproar about the same. So then where do we strike a balance in terms of, yes, we want to promote that everybody is beautiful, it doesn't matter the skin tone, but then again, doing it too much to, you know, make it then offensive for people who are dark, you know, who are dark toned. But for you, Sabrina, so fine, you are in this business. This is what you do. You have earned a living out of it. Do you see yourself maybe stopping at some point, or it is what it is?
I will not, because it is on high demand in my society, and whoever is buying this or is doing this knows what they're doing. And if it's about going to a dermatologist and all that, we don't live in a society whereby you just tell someone, just go see a dermatologist. Most of these Swahili women, maybe if you're too educated, you will understand what it means to go to a dermatologist. But if they're not, they'll just tell you, why waste money on a dermatologist when I can get something cheaper to just brighten my skin or treat my underarms or my thighs. So yes, I am not stopping this anytime soon. This is my business.
Okay, all right. So what do you have to say as we bring this to a close, as far as those people who are like, Mkorogo is like the shortcut to making sure that my skin is light and all those things? What would you advise women, men, young girls who really just want to come and brighten their skin, lighten their skin, bleach, you know, their skin, just to make sure that they look confident or they look good? What would you have to say?
For the women mostly, because I will go for the women. Don't get peer pressured into removing your dark, beautiful skin to becoming light skin. It's a lot of work. And it reaches to a point where you'll get tired of it and you will fade back into your color, of which itakuwa ni aibu kwako. So if you're dark skinned, at least use easy serums in it, just use vitamin C, those kind of serums whereby you just make your skin glow. You have a beautiful skin tone, don't remove it. But if you think you have the urge to brighten up, who am I to stop you? I'm here for business.
I like that. I like that. Who am I? Who am I? But like what you said earlier on, just embrace the skin that you are in. It doesn't matter what it is, just embrace it, but take care of your skin. If it's the glow that you want, again, just take care of your skin, you'll achieve it. Thank you very much, Sabrina. Very, very candid, you know, today. So Sabrina Yusuf Said, who's a businesswoman in Mombasa. Asante sana, Sabrina. Jackie, in like 30 seconds. To just speak to everyone, both men, women, young girls, everyone who, you know, has that urge to lighten, brighten, you know, their skin. Yeah.
I think I would also like to thank Sabrina.
Yeah.
Kwanza vile anasema hiyo kazi ni kazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get into
yeah,
this,
it's not that it will just happen. It's a job. So you know you need to pick a struggle.
Yeah.
For me, my last words would be, in everything in life, you're picking a struggle. Yeah. And at times, life is predictable. You can see where this struggle will take you to. So you either pick the struggle to bleach, and it is, or to lighten, to glow, and it comes with its struggle with it, yeah? And it comes with the impact that the doctor has talked about. Or alternatively, choose the struggle to work on yourself inwardly, to get the self-confidence you're looking for, to learn how to show up in a way that totally works for you. Okay, fine, I know that I'm a dark skin. I know that when I get into a room that maybe I will not be seen fast, in quicker than the light skin. How do I show up?
How do I show up?
Yes.
Pick a struggle.
Pick a
struggle is what Jackie is saying. Jackie Care, who is a life coach, thank you very much. And of course, earlier on, we also had Dr. Winnie Njenga, who's a clinical dermatologist. Thank you very much, ladies. We've had such a wholesome conversation. So thank you so much. And for you who's watching us, I'm sure you've learned a lot. And we'll just say the same, pick a struggle. That's all we're going to say. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow morning for another amazing episode. But for now, it is goodbye. A big thank you to everyone who made this show a success. Have yourselves a lovely day. Stay safe. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.